Well, welcome along, guys, to Bath Rugby Nation with me, your host, Darren, the channel that brings you your team every single day, all the latest goings on at the rec on a daily basis. As long as we as well will have podcasts, live streams, other stuff like that coming on. Just hang on for it, guys. It is coming. And you know what? How you get it? It's free. It's absolutely free. You know, when it costs a fortune, everything's a fortune these days, isn't it? Tickets for rugby, for example, 50 odd quid for a ticket. Crazy. Anyway, hit the sub, ring the notification bell. It's free. All free. Not going to charge you for the content. Anyway. Let's talk Finn Russell. I think we can all agree that Finn Russell was by far one of the most exciting signings that we have made, and we've had to wait 3 months to actually see Finn in action. Now, Finn is someone who comes with a very, very good reputation, someone who, wherever he's been, has been very successful and has displayed his fantastic skills, not only on the club stage, but on the international stage. Fortunately, obviously, he returned from the World Cup early, meaning we were able to get, I suppose, unfortunately, if you're Scottish, I apologise. But, you know, at the end of the day, very fortunate that we have Finn back and playing. You know, he's had some interesting times playing, you know, at Glasgow Warriors, at Racing 92, and now at Bath. You know, a varied career with varied experiences. No doubt the time playing in France will have stood him in good stead. Finn was absolutely fantastic against Saracens at the weekend, although in this picture, I'm not quite sure what McFarland is doing to Russell. Looks like he's sniffing his backside, which is rather odd. But that pass out the back of the hand, I think, is one that will live long in the memory from this season. Now, Finn has been talking to the media and has given an exclusive interview where he has talked, which is on the Bath website. And it's great to hear from him. He really is an enthusiastic, energetic, top quality guy with some rather questionable eating habits, of course, with his Red Bull and his sweets, for example. You know, he talked about the fact in this interview that it was a great start, that he'd made a great start, the team had made a great start, 10 points from 10, the only team in the Guinness Premiership who have got 10 points from 10. He's talked about how well he's settling in, and he's talked about, you know, being very optimistic for the future here and being here for the future, for the long-term future. He said it was good for his family and him to actually settle down for a period of time. So it sounds like Finn is planning on staying for a number of years at the club, which, you know, if he performs to the levels we know that he is capable of, can only be good news for Bath. He said it's been a very, very smooth transition. He says that, you know, he talked about how it was meeting Yuan and the rest of the coaching staff, talking to, you know, his teammates Cam and Rory and Josh from Scotland, and being persuaded to come to the club. You know, they were great selling points, obviously, as well as wanting to play in the Guinness Premiership, a league he described as being intense and physical, which I think is very, very true. He talked as well about the fact that, you know, that he enjoys being in Bath. He says it's obviously a lot smaller and calmer than where he's been in the past. Obviously, Paris and Glasgow, two massive metropolitan cities with crazy populations, especially Glasgow. You know, he says it's nice, smaller place. He says likes to just walk around very calmly with the family, especially with having a young daughter that he's helping him settle in. He likes going to the coffee shops and the cafes of Bath and just chilling out. What an idyllic world it is. And Bath really is a beautiful place to be. You know, he talked about the fact that he was excited to come in, like I said, because of meeting with Yuan and being persuaded by him. But not just that, the recruitment that Bath were doing, the intentions of the club, the ambitions of the club, and the environment as well. And the players, in having that mix of experienced players and young players as well, was a massive selling point to getting Finn to come to Bath Rugby Club. And I think he is someone who will be extremely successful. You know, I think for me, listening to the way he talks, listening to the enthusiasm that he puts across, listening to the way he is very positive about the future, positive about the club, positive about his teammates and the coaching staff, you know, it's half the battle. If you've got players that want to be here, that are positive, that are forward thinking, which Finn Russell clearly is, you've got a team that are going to be successful. And I think, you know, if that infectious enthusiasm from Finn can transfer across to the other players as well, I really do think that this is going to be an exceptionally successful season for us. You know, he says he's here to play. He's here to win lots as well. That's definitely intention. But he says it's not just about playing well and winning lots of trophies for the club. He says it's also about helping to develop the young players as well. He says, you know, whether that's Orlando or Max or two players he kind of singled out in particular, you know, has been players that he wants to work with and help develop. And, you know, he talked as well about playing, you know, having a great relationship with Cam and wanting to build on that reputation with Cam. He also talked about, how excellent it was to work with Ben Spencer as well, El Capitano, how fantastic he is to play with as well. So, he really has an enthusiasm for this team and has players that he wants to be around and wants to play around. And again, he kept coming back to this point where he talked about the fact that at the club we have good experienced players, but we also have good young players as well, and how that is the perfect mix to enable a club to go on and be very successful. He was obviously talking as well about how he had an unfortunate World Cup for Scotland where they went out of the group stage. He said, after that defeat in Paris against Ireland, he could have taken time off. He could have, taken time away and reflected on the World Cup and reflected on, where he'd been. But, he said he'd been a Bath player for 3 months and hadn't actually, trained with the team or played with the team. He said he wanted to get straight back to it. And, he came back, he spoke to you, Ad, he took a day off, and then he got straight back into it and started playing, training, and then gets his debut after only 31 minutes against Newcastle, and then obviously gets on and plays a full game against Saracens and really impresses in that game. He says he was buzzing. I think that was the thing that kept coming across, how buzzing he was for this and how up for the challenge he was. He was really positive. And I said, if you get a chance, go onto the Bath website, watch the interview, and you'll get the same vibe as I got from that interview, that Finn is an exceptionally positive and infectious man, and someone who I think will only do good things for the team. He talked about how great the fans were as well, and how great the crowd was and the atmosphere at the Rec was. He talked how it was great fun interacting with fans before and after games. How that really, has made it helped to make it worthwhile, this transition down here, and how he was looking forward to the atmosphere as well, particularly in obviously the Derby games coming up, the Southwest Derby games against Bristol and Gloucester, and also the rivalry game against Leicester this weekend. Although Finn did call it a derby, it's not really a derby, really. I suppose it's more a rivalry game, as Leicester is a good 2.5 hours from Bath. He talked about the fact that he wanted to make sure that we play the caliber of rugby that got fans off their seat and raise the level of excitement at the Rec. And that's, as fans, that's what we want to hear, don't we? We want to see exciting, fast-flowing rugby that's going to entertain, not grinding, horrible, boring, stick up your jumper type Leicester Tigers of old type ways of playing. He said he loved the challenge of the Premiership. He loved getting to grips with that challenge and was looking forward to the upcoming challenge. He says he's played against Premier. He said he obviously never played in the Premiership before, but had played against Premier teams in the Champions Cup for Glasgow. He said it was always tough, absolutely always tough against them. They always gave a good account of themselves, and it was an intense fight. He said obviously he'd even been here to Bath to play against Bath for Glasgow. He said the Derby games were obviously a massive appeal to him as well, the Bristol, Gloucester games, and obviously the game against Leicester, which obviously is upcoming this weekend, so his first chance to get a taste of that game. Looking forward to covering that here on the channel. But yeah, the Leicester rivalry game is a big one. What else did he say? He says, as well, he was looking forward to playing against his mates in some of those games. He says he's got Scotland international mates at Gloucester, at Bristol, and at Leicester. And for him, he really wanted to get out there, and he wanted to get one over on his mates. That was something that he really pushed across, was that desire to really get one over on his mates and beat them. He says that's part of the thing. And I think that's very much that rugby attitude, isn't it? You can be the best of buddies off the field, but as soon as you get onto the field, it's war. He said he was really looking forward to the Bath v Leicester game upcoming this weekend. The build up to it, certainly in the media and obviously in the city, and obviously the atmosphere on game day itself. He says this is his first ever English rivalry game that he will play in. So, look, overall, exceptionally positive from Finn Russell. Exceptionally exciting. You marry that in with his performance against Sarries last weekend, where he was outstanding. I really do think that this is a fantastic, fantastic guy we've got on board here. Someone who will enable this club to go from strength to strength and really help us get the success we crave as a fan base. Back to the glory days of Bath. So that will be our intention. Well, guys, let me know what you think of what I've had to say and also the interview. And if you've enjoyed the content, guys, please smash the sub and ring the notification bell. Thanks for watching. And as always, guys, please hit the like on the way out and drop me a comment. Thank you for watching.